Welcome back to tonight's broadcast, A Place for Stories. I'm Sergio Dominguez, and tonight we continue reading my original novel, What Would I Do Without You? If you're joining us for the first time, I encourage you to start with Chapter 1 and experience Isaac and Aaron's journey from the very beginning. In our last chapter, what began as heartbreak ended with understanding. Isaac and Aaron finally found the chance to say everything that had been left unsaid, reminding each other that honesty and trust can mend even the deepest misunderstandings. But life has a way of moving forward. Even after our biggest fears are behind us, new moments arrive that test us in unexpected ways. So let's continue Isaac's journey. This is What Would I Do Without You? Chapter 14. On the day of the funeral, I was at Chris's house early. I knew that it was going to be one of the hardest days Chris would ever have to face, and like Abuelo said, the best thing to do was to be by his side. That was exactly what I intended to do. "Hey, Isaac, come on in. You're early," Mr. Rodriguez remarked as he greeted me at the door. The dark circles under his eyes made him look like he hadn't slept in days. "Chris is in his room," he told me as he let me into the house. I smiled and turned towards Chris's room. "I'll be leaving soon. I have to be at the funeral home in about 20 minutes. I will see you guys there," he said as he put on his black coat. "Oh, okay," I said as I gave him a slight bow of my head and turned to walk away. "You look very nice, Chris," I told him as I walked into his room. He was looking at himself in the mirror as he tried to make the knot on his tie. He smiled tightly as he finished the knot and then started on a tiny angel pin. As he pinned it on his suit, he said, "Time doesn't slow down. I feel like it was just yesterday you and I were on the way to the hospital. Everything is a blur and nothing makes sense." He looked at me through the mirror and told me, "I'm ready, but I don't even remember getting ready. It's so weird that I did all the steps to get me to this point, yet I don't even recall when I brushed my teeth." I did exactly as Abuelo advised. I stood there and listened to him. The ride to the funeral was quiet. Chris sat with his head resting on the door window looking out. I patted him on the knee, reminding him that I was there with him. "It's going to be okay, Chris. I will be with you the whole time," I reassured him. "I know," he said as he inhaled and then closed his eyes before exhaling. The heat of the sun coming through the window reminds me of her. She used to cup my face in her hands when I was little, and I could feel the warmth in them. I could tell that he was looking for her, searching for something that would make him feel like she was with him. I remained quiet the rest of the ride so he could have his time remembering his mother. There was nothing warm or inviting about the funeral home. Nothing is when a 16-year-old is burying his mother. Someone from Chris's family had taken the time to decorate the chapel foyer with family pictures and mementos of his mother's life. At the end of the hallway sat a portrait of Chris's mother. The hall was decorated with flowers that led to the chapel where his mother's body was laying. Mr. Rodriguez solemnly greeted people at the chapel's entrance. Thankfully, he was surrounded by family. Chris and I stood off in the corner. "If only she could be standing next to me and holding my hand to help me through this," Chris said to me. He was looking for some kind of comfort, the kind that only his mother could give him, like she always did. I extended my palm and said, "You can hold my hand, Chris." He turned to look at me and paused for a second before looking down at my hand and grabbing it. I took a step towards Mr. Rodriguez, but Chris wouldn't move. "What if I just stay here?" he said as he looked at his father. "What if I don't move at all? I can just stand here frozen and nothing will happen, and the day won't end, right?" I cupped my hand over his and said, "We will do this together. I am with you all the way, Chris." I felt him squeeze my hand as he looked at me, and then we started walking. He had given in and accepted this was happening. His genius plan to stop the day from progressing had failed, and that idea was now gone. There was nothing he could do about it. His heart and soul gave up and his fight was over. It was inevitable. "Thank you for coming with us. I truly appreciate it," Mr. Rodriguez said to me. "No need to thank me," I answered him as he casually looked down and noticed Chris and I were holding hands. A smile appeared on his face. "You okay, Chris?" Mr. Rodriguez asked him. "No, I'm not," Chris answered as he looked at the door that would lead us into where the funeral service would take place. He knew that once we opened the door, there was no turning back. It marked the beginning of events that would take us to her final resting place. Silence surrounded us as I looked at Chris, who was staring at the door. When I reached for the handle, I heard Chris take a deep breath. There are moments in life when no words are enough. No advice can take away the pain. No promise can make tomorrow easier. Sometimes, the greatest gift we can give someone is simply our presence. As Isaac stood beside Chris that morning, he realized there wasn't anything he could say that would fix what had been broken. He couldn't erase the grief. He couldn't bring Chris's mother back, but he could stand beside his friend. One step at a time, one breath at a time, and one moment at a time. Sometimes, that's what love looks like. Not having all the answers, but refusing to let someone face their darkest days alone. We'll continue Isaac's journey in chapter 15. Thank you for listening to What Would I Do Without You? If this chapter touched your heart, I'd be honored if you would like this video, subscribe to tonight's broadcast, and share it with someone who enjoys heartfelt stories about friendship, family, and hope. I'm Sergio Dominguez, and this has been tonight's broadcast, A Place for Stories. Until next time, take care of the people you love. Good night.